Hello and welcome. This character profile video is for the class Fletcher, and what you'll see is all of his skills, the top 8 PVE and PVP skills I recommend, his skill combos, his enhancements, player card, and a gameplay video. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring you the class Fletcher. Here we go. And welcome to the skills slide. So if you're new to this slide, allow me to introduce the interface to you. On the far left are all of his skills. The next column over is how many times you can use that skill. The next one is called hits, how many times that skill will hit a creature or opponent. The next column is damage-PVE, that is the highest percentage damage that you will do against a creature in the world. And then the next column, damage-PVP, is the highest percentage damage you'll do against another player. And then the last column is specials that are attached to these skills. So a few things to point out. The first one is super armor, which is colored in red. It just means it's not applied in arena if you're fighting in arena, but otherwise it will activate just fine. The other is the one that says max 2 attacks or 3 attacks. I have that colored in green. I just wanted it to stand out so you can visually see which ones have more than one attack possible with it. And then there's the third part, which is the second to the last and the last skill, Mark of the Luthragon and Piercing Darkness, which is your passive. So Mark of the Luthragon, if you use it to heal yourself, you get all of those things in the specials. And Piercing Darkness, it says it resets its duration, so mess around with that. I believe Piercing Darkness has like a 2-minute cooldown, so if you do your heal and you're able to do Piercing Darkness again, then that's what it means. It just allows you to use it that much sooner. And then of course your passive, which is connected to it. So take a moment to look at all this, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, which is the top 8 PVE skills I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PVE skills slide. So what I've done is I've taken all of the skills and I've organized it under the column of damage-PVE. And at the very top, your highest damage skill is Bullseye. It is very, very strong. I also want to point your attention to the next skill down, which is called Jackpot. And if you hold the skill button down, you can get a ×4 multiplier of 20% each. So that's 80% more damage you can do on top of what you see for Jackpot. So that one really is named appropriately and is worth playing around with. So take a moment to look at this, and when you're ready, we're going to move over to the top 8 PvP skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PvP skills slide. So what we've done is we've organized all of the skills under the column of damage-PVP, and it is the same as PvE, where Bullseye is your highest damage percentage skill. However, this time around, it matters what will give you super armor. So we want to look at the skill, the next one down, called Jackpot. So my recommendation is, when you start out your skill rotation, when you're in arena, is to start out with Jackpot and just get the super armor in, get the knockdown on hit in. Don't sit there and charge it up, because that 4 times just leaves you open to attack. So get them down first and your super armor, and then move on to Bullseye next, and then maybe Light Beam, and you will have appeased your Piercing Darkness requirement for three skills to activate it. So now that you have that, you can go back and do your super armor again, and the goal is to keep them down, keep them knocked down. And if you want that piercing darkness to refresh, you got to throw your heal in there and see if it'll reset its duration like it says. So now you can use it. But that would be the recommendation: is Jackpot, Bullseye, Light Beam, and then maybe mark the Luthragon after you use your piercing darkness. Well, it's good for 20 seconds, so that's a lot of skills in 20 seconds. So maybe you might want to just do those and then refresh it with the same order, or maybe mix in a few other things like Deadshot, where you're invincible and they can't grab you while you're in the air jumping. So take a moment to look at this, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the skill combos list for the Fletcher. Here we go. And welcome to the Fletcher skill combo slide, and if you're new to this, allow me to introduce it to you. So if you're in the game and you go up and access your skills, and then you select the middle tab for skills, and then you look over to the left and towards the bottom, you'll see an hourglass icon. If you tap on that, it'll bring up the list of skill combos. However, you have to scroll up and down to see all of this. We put it all on one screen in this video for you to plan and observe. And the way it works is at the top, let's just say Volley of Judgment. If you use that skill, they're recommending, this is Pearl Abyss is recommending to chain it with Bullseye or Jackpot next. So that's what those icons mean, and that's what this screen means. Is what's in blue is what you would start out with, and what is in gray is what they're recommending you do as your next skill to use. So that's pretty much the gist of all of it. So take a look at the Fletcher skill combos, and when you're ready, we will move on to the enhancement slide. Here we go. And welcome to the enhancement slide for the Fletcher. So if you're new to this slide, the way that this works is similar to the others. On the far left are the names of all of your skills. On the far right is the branch damage connected to all of these skills. That's the Owl, Surette, LeBrave, and Ahib that you see colored on the far right. And in the center is 4 columns. The first, the second column, and the fourth column are things or enhancements that help you and work for you. The third column I've made as an enhancement that happens on the person you're fighting. So, for example, Volley of Judgment. And the third column, it says target move speed minus 5% for 10 seconds. So when you use that on your opponent, their move speed is going to decrease by 5% for 10 seconds. So that's how this works. There are some that are moved over into the second column, and that's like, for example, Light Beam towards the middle. Target DP minus 20 for 10 seconds, and target move speed minus 5% for 10 seconds. Yeah, just didn't want to cram it all in there in one column and be small font for you to see, so, well, we had the space, we just move it over. Now, there's 2 other things I want to point out, actually 3. The first one is easy, and that is Volley of Reckoning. If you look all the way over to the right where it says heal 90 hit points per hit, the word heal is colored differently, and it means that when you take this character into your Path of Glory, he does not heal himself. So be aware of that for the enhancement when it's unlocked, that he'll heal himself everywhere else in the game but Path of Glory. And the other 2 are, if you look at the skill list, you'll see that Keep Away and Jackpot are colored differently. I want to point these ones out. If I was creating a Fletcher, I would want to unlock the enhancement for that on Keep Away, which is charges change from 3 to 4. That's 4 times you can use Keep Away versus the 3. That's a big difference, especially in the world of damage. So that's why it's highlighted and brought to your attention. The other one is under Jackpot is the flow. That is a different skill on top of what Jackpot does. So not only can you do that 4 times multiplier, which is 80% more damage, if you unlock the flow skill, you're adding piercing damage on top of that. It's a triple layer cake. You know, the original damage, the multiplier damage, and piercing damage. This is why Jackpot is one you should consider being your favorite skill, because it has a lot to offer. And you can select Ow for branch damage, which is more damage for Jackpot. So take a look at this skill screen, and when you're ready, we will move on to the player card. Here we go. And welcome to the player card screen. So what this is, it's like a baseball card. It is every slide except for one thing that is all brought together for you on one thing. So it's meant for if people don't have much time, they're excited about a new character that's come out, they can come over to the player card and just take an overview of what it has, and then when they have more time they can sit down and see all the details of what they like about this character. So without further ado, let me introduce the way that it works. At the top is your damage PVE and PVP skills that I recommend. To the right of that is something new. It's called Immobilization. So the way this works is anything that knocks you down, stuns you, knocks you up in the air or back or anything like that, immobilizing your opponent. I put the how many you have next to the skill and that you have one in green or you don't in red. So as you can see, Deadshot is the popular one with 2 things that immobilize your opponent. So if we go over to the PvP side, you'll see that Deadshot is not too high on the damage, but has 2 chances to immobilize your enemy. So consider that when you're fighting and maybe their super armor will run out and that second immobilization will kick in for you on Deadshot and catch them. So there's different things you can do, but that is how that works. Below it is the skills that you know for the Fletcher unlocked, and then below that the enhancements, and at the very bottom is the legend of what is and not applied for Path of Glory or not applied for Arena. Now, if you're wondering, well, what is forward guard and super armor? I don't know what these things mean. I put that at the bottom as well. Forward guard, this means incoming damage will either be 0 or heavily reduced. It's a very popular skill or enhancement or something. It's very popular to have when you have it, but Fletcher doesn't have a forward guard, but he has super armor, and this means incoming damage will be reduced, and the effects that immobilize you, like stun, knockdown, freeze, or etc., will not happen for a duration of time. And that is why in BDO as well as BDM, they do the rotation, making sure they're refreshing their super armor so that your opponent can't catch you and knock you down and get that extra hit on you. And that could be what determines a match, is whether you get caught with no super armor active. So take a moment to look at this, and when you're ready, the music is gonna change, and we will move on to the gameplay video, where we show what the Fletcher can do. Here we go. And welcome to the gameplay video. But before we get started, let us show you where we're at. We are over here in Balanos, and we are at Kron Castle entrance. And we are here because, well, we like it here. And the enemies are 2,519 CP, and we are 3,398 CP. I think he'll be okay. So the way this works is we will use our autopath. We'll have him fight for 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll go to town. I'll do my outro and say thank you. So let's go ahead and get on the horse and get over there. And I'll just say, without further ado, I bring you the class Fletcher. Here we go. It's just about time for us to head back to town. There we go. And so while that loading screen is coming up, I'll just go ahead and do my outro and say thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you like my videos. If you do, please subscribe, like, let people know I'm always making more videos, and I'm happy to do so. So what we're going to do is put him over in a good position. We can showcase him. And here's a good spot. And we just swing the camera around towards the wall, and it will zoom in on him. There we go. Alright, so once again, thank you all. Thank you all very much. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye now.